All right, what's up, y'all? They're going through, I guess, pleasantries since they're in Pittsburgh. They got T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward out there, representing Pittsburgh. We don't really care about that. We Ravens fans over here, so we don't really care about all that, right? Yeah. So, thanks for joining me. I'm hoping at some point the guys can jump on the stream. But it's they got two little they got little ones, so mine is he's a little bit older, so he can kind of run around. But hopefully they get some time when they get to sleep or whatever, change the Pampers or something, and they can have a stream for even for a little bit. So right, we're getting ready for this. Y'all can't hear in the background. Got the draft on in the background. Just putting this in a few places. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Getting ready. The 2026 NFL Draft. All right. All right, the draft is officially open now. So the Raiders looks like they're going to pick Frank Mendoza will be their new starting quarterback. I don't know if you guys heard. Apparently that Peyton Manning was tasked by the NFL to try to get him to come to the draft because I don't know if this is the first time in history, but since they've been televising the draft and at least had the green room and stuff in the back, this might be the first time we've seen the actual overall number one pick not be in the building for the draft. But obviously they said his mom has some health issues. So look, shout out to him. And look, to be honest, I would rather be at home than flying out wherever it is for the draft. Like, I'd rather be around my friends because, when they go to the draft, they can only bring like a few family members anyway. And I'm like, I want my friends there. I want some family members there, mentors that I've had going the way. Like, I would want those people around, for an event like this. Travis just texted. He was like, "It's too much time in that Steelers intro." Yeah, I agree. Like, we don't want to see all that, man. No one cares about the city it's in because there's so many fans that are there. It's like no one cares, And Pittsburgh, I think they did say they shut down. They closed schools. I think it was like a holiday. They closed the banks. Everybody got off of work early just because of all the influx of people coming into town for the draft. So that was interesting to see. But I mean, we were all here to talk about what the Ravens, might do. So they're at pick 14, and we anticipate the Ravens picking the guard out of Penn State. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not going to say it. But the guard we all know, I think it's Ione at Penn State. We anticipate the Ravens taking him in this draft. Look, things can happen though. Like there's going to be a couple guys that slip and fall that are supposed to be top 5 draft picks, and it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I would show the stream, but I know because of copyright issues and stuff like that, I'm not going to show the video, things like that. So you can hear the audio. Yeah, I think you can hear the audio, but I'll be in and out, as this goes on, as the reaction goes on. I'm pretty sure y'all be following it as well. And then when the Ravens do pick out, put that on here on the thing or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, the Jeremiah Love pick is interesting to me. Like, I can't remember the last. Let me look at here. When was the last time a running back went in first round draft picks? I want to say it might have been Derrick Henry. Might have been the last. Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me see by year. Let's see. This was reported. So the last one was Ashton Jeanty. I forgot he went to pick number 6 last year. And then Omarion Hampton the year before. Well, that same year he went in the first round as well, and then Bijan in 2023, and Jahmyr Gibbs also in 2023. For a while though, I think for a few years, there was a while before running back to the first round. But so that's Genty and Marion Hampton were the last two to be picked in the first round, and we saw Marion Hampton. Didn't have a breakout first year or anything. Neither did Ashton Genty. Didn't have a breakout first year, especially with how he did at Boise State. But when you are a first round, I think running back, you're expected to look like guys like Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry. Like they came out the gate smoking, and I think with the NFL, the way it's kind of gone is weird. How it has gone back a little bit to a kind of run type offense where it's more of a two back situation where they don't have a premier running back. It definitely is a dual position now. It's not just one guy that's going to get 40 carries a game. The Ravens usually run like that, but a lot of other teams in the NFL don't really run that way. So it'll be interesting to see who Love goes to. I think I saw possibly going to the Giants, where some picks for him where he might go. Also saw maybe going to the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think with Andy Reid and also with Eric Bieniemy back in the fold could be a big boon for them. I think they've been struggling the last few years trying to find running backs, and a guy like Love would be, if used properly and if he is who he is advertised to be, then I think it should be a good pick. The Raiders pick is officially in. Surprise, surprise. The real draft doesn't really start until I think it was the Jets pick next. So that's when we really find out who they're going to pick. Give me a second real quick.
Number 1 overall pick in the 2026 draft, and they have taken the drama right out. The pick is in as we go to the commissioner, Roger Goodell. With the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. The moment that Fernando was sharing with his family in Miami, he told us earlier tonight, about 80 friends and family joining there for the celebration. They knew this was coming, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's an electrifying moment. No, it really doesn't. And for me to share that with your family and friends, not to have a big family, is always really, really special because I spoke to his parents and they told me that Fernando's a young man who always bet on himself. And things didn't go his way. He figured he would outwork people. His mom said when he transferred to Columbus, he wasn't promised anything. He was number 4 on the depth chart. He said, Mom, there may be some guys more talented than me, but no one would outwork me. And his teammates at Cal, his roommates said he was working day and night. He never saw him in the dorm room because if he wasn't studying football, he was studying for his major. So this is a big moment for the Mendoza family. A one-time Yale commit who had very little high-profile interest, but started his career in Cal, transferred to Indiana, and spending the night tonight with his family because of the importance of the relationship with his mother.
My mom, Elsa Mendoza, she's my light, my optimism, my why, she's my everything. My family's unconditional love and belief kept me going and pushed me forward. The way that I see her fight every single day and overcome her battle with MS, multiple sclerosis, is inspiring, and it makes football larger than life for me. My mother has been a huge part of my football journey from a very young age. Taught me how to step and throw the ball. I remember being really upset about not getting any scholarship offers during my year. Then telling, hey, you're gonna get a Power 4 offer. Whenever I go on the field, I do.
No, I think it's also.
Fired.
Oh, hold on.
For my mess. If I spot her, it just overwhelms me with emotion because I know that I'm making her proud.
My thing is, if the NFL was very adamant about, if the NFL was really that adamant, about bringing him into the draft, knowing his mom had MS, I'm like, come on, guys. He wasn't going to leave his mom back in, was he in California, doing that. He was, that just wasn't going to happen. This wasn't going to happen. But if they were really trying to press him, like, hey, you really need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. And it's like, no, I'm not getting out here. My mom is here.
Well, thank you so much. In the last 5 months, you have won the Heisman Trophy, a national championship, and now you're the first overall pick in the NFL draft. How have the last 5 months changed your life?
The last 5 months have been such a blessing by God, and I can't thank him enough. I'm just looking forward to get to work, prove at the next level.
And it's weird. Like, I don't know if the emotion's been taken out of it a lot, but it's like, because he knew months ago he was the number one pick. Like, this guy knew already the Raiders would take you number one. So it's like, you don't really get that initial reaction, how react. Now, I think when we start getting into the middle of the draft where guys really don't know when they're going to get drafted, especially like day 2 and day 3, those are the real reactions, I think.
They have a new head coach, Clint Kubiak, and they believe that they can build this franchise around him. So I would wait on the New York Jets, among the major professional sports, have the longest playoff route of any team. They try to get the draft right once again.
Now, again, I wonder how the interesting thing for all of this is going to be, the interesting thing for all this is going to be how involved will Tom Brady can be with his development, because I think he still has a contract with CBS, with Fox Sports or CBS. I think it's might be Fox. It might be Fox Sports. He still has the contract, so he can only do but so much, because you have to be impartial, to comment on the games and stuff. So I don't know how much, because he's like a minority owner with the Raiders. So it'd be interesting to see like how much impact he really is going to have. I think in this draft. All right, the Jets pick is in, so this is really where the draft kind of begins. So we're going to find out right now.
With the second pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select David Bailey.
Okay, they got the edge rusher David Bailey out of Texas Tech. That was kind of expected. I think the other one was Avon Reese. They expected to take.
He led the nation in tackles for loss. He is an elite guy. Finished his career at Texas Tech, helped him get into the playoffs, and now he makes the walk from the green room, headed up to get the hug from the commissioner, Roger Goodell. What do you think about David Bailey?
I think we all love him. I mean, he transferred over from Stanford, had a monster year in Lubbock, Texas, in his 1 year there playing for the Red Raiders. And this is a team that desperately needs him. Coach, you're never going to believe this. The Jets last year had 0 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries, and 4 turnovers in 17.
Well, I also think it's interesting is
welcome aboard.
the dynamic of guys going to the transfer portal in college football, going to the pros, because some of them have already bounced around 3 different schools at this point. You can't do that once you go pro. If you don't like how you're being used, you don't like how things are going, maybe that first year, you can't just go dip and go to another team. You're going to have to stay with the team. So I wonder how guys are going to be able to deal with that dynamic. Usually guys stay at their school for 4 years, barring any injuries or whatever might have happened, get kicked out of school, whatever. But most guys, you stay there for 3 to 4 years and then you go to the NFL. Guys now in the transfer portal, guys going from year 1 with one school, year 2 with another school, year 3 with another school, year 4 with another school. How are they going to react to now? How are they now going to transition with how the things, with the transfer portal, how it transition to the NFL, with you can't just bounce around. Like when you get drafted by this team, you're locked in at least for 3 years. Wherever the chips fall. All right, the Cardinals are next. Their pick is up. So obviously the Kyler Murray situation there. I don't think they haven't traded him yet. I don't know if he's even been released. I still think he is. Has he been released yet? No, right. He's with the Vikings now, right? The Vikings ended up picking him up, so he did get released, and now he's there. But they need a quarterback. They don't have one right now. But right now, Ty Simpson and Drew Ayler and all those guys and Grant Nussmeier aren't really scheduled to go in the first round. Like, these aren't first round. They've been campaigning for Ty Simpson to get drafted in the first round for whatever reason. I think Alabama's been paying ESPN a lot of money to try to push Ty Simpson into the first round somehow, some way. I don't think that's going to work. They also mentioned Carson Beck as well, but none of those guys are first round talents. It's an interesting draft for sure, because a lot of these quarterbacks that are in this draft are not first round talents. Nobody's outside of Mendoza, who I also have questions about, because I get it. He's a gamer. He's played in a lot of big games, but I don't know. It feels like a Tim Tebow type to me. I think he can throw the ball okay, but some of his mechanics were still kind of slow. I remember watching it and playing Indiana last year, and I mean this past season when they won the championship, and he still looked. He's a gamer. Don't get me wrong. He's a gamer. He's tough and all that good stuff. It'd just be interesting if his mechanics still become an issue in the NFL. But yeah, the Cardinals, they have already got Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe they pick up Price as a running back right now, and pick up their quarterback later. I don't know. Obviously, it's not a pressing need. Maybe they go defense to get edge here. There's a couple edge. Ruben Bain is still available as well. There's some tackles available. This is an opportunity where Kyler Murray is now gone. You don't really have a quarterback. It's kind of build up other positions of need, for the future. Maybe you draw another free agent type quarterback to your team maybe next year. Maybe just take this year as an off year if you're the Cardinals and just kind of move on from there.
Just enough to be able to keep the defense kind of wondering what he might be up to. Just we talked this year, it's not his first round, it's off the charts, but there are some guys that make you go, whoa. It is obviously he's one of those guys.
And the thing that makes it special to me is you mentioned the speed. But 2 of the 3 of those sacks that he just got on that film was speed to power. And they have to soft set when you're that fast. So that tackle soft set and he's on his heels. And when you can turn that speed to power, you walk him right back to the quarterback that he can do that.
He also told me that if he wasn't playing football, he'd probably be about 400 pounds because he loves food. He said, I want to try all the food I possibly can. I want to travel the world and try
a great city for food.
Exactly.
He's going to love that. Watch that weight.
I mean, there are great places in New Jersey. Might be across the bridge from yes, sir.
If he keeps rushing like he can rush and gains a little weight, be even more lethal.
Arizona Cardinals, they have a 3rd overall pick right now. He wore number 31 in college, which is the same number that your great pass rusher and defensive end linebacker Will Anderson wore in college. And the ceiling might be somewhat similar for David Bailey to Will Anderson, who just signed a huge contract extension with the Houston Texans.
Well, Will Anderson's a fantastic player and had all the right stuff. And he's been able to translate it to the NFL. I think David Bailey will be able to do the same thing. He's that kind of kid. He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of
same approach.
Yeah.
So now we have a little more into when we continue on with more pass rush.
All right, Cardinals pick is in. I'll put a question out to people that are watching, right now. Do you think the Ravens stay at pick 14? I'll ask that question. Do you think the Ravens stay at pick 14?
Desmond loves it, and we see now that the pick is in just outside of Acrisure Stadium, and back to the commissioner, Roger Goodell.
I'll say this: we can boo that man all he wants, but that man he's getting like $40 million a year. So I feel like you showered me with your hate. They took Jeremiah Love, the running back, Notre Dame.
We talked about game day. Do you go for need or do you go for best player? On such an elite process.
Well, the situation for them is
offensive head coach now in the building. they could not pass on Jake taking maybe the best player. In
The
this
situation for the
draft.
Cardinals is they're not really going to have a elite quarterback
He can do a lot of
this coming season.
He's a good receiver. He's also
It's either going to be a rookie or a guy that's a backup. And I think the thing is for them is that picking a guy like Jeremiah Love, you know, he's going to get a lot of carries. So look, if you got fantasy, you do fantasy football, I would watch him. They're going to be using him a lot that first year because they bring in, you know, a backup type quarterback or even a rookie quarterback. They're going to be leaning heavy on just running the football. And I think he's going to get plenty of carries in Arizona.
On the Doak Walk Award in college football that goes to the nation's top running back. Broke records for Pittsburgh Steeper legend Jerome Bettis, who played in college football at
Gardner Minshew MVP. Yeah, Gardner Minshew. He's like the was it Brad? Remember Brad Johnson type quarterback? I'll even go. What's his name? Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett when he was backup quarterback to Troy Aikman for like 10 years or whatever, barely saw the field. But I mean, look, they're not going to have a quarterback that's going to win them get them to the playoffs. I think they're very aware of what's going on in Arizona right now, and with where they're picking in the draft, like they're not reaching for a Ty Simpson or Grant Nussmeier or Drew Aller and stuff. They're not reaching for any of those guys. So the best bet for them is to wait. I would honestly, while you're waiting, I would wait until the third round to go start drafting quarterbacks. Like they still have some other needs they need to go. They got to figure out in Arizona. The reason why we're picking at number 3 is because they didn't have a good year last year. So yeah, they need to go ahead and get some stuff situated for them. So Tennessee's up next. I think the expectation. I saw a lot of mock drafts where. Which is why I hate the running back pick that high when you're at the start of a week. Yeah, but I think they also they just need something. I need a weapon in the backfield. You still got Marvin Harrison Smith Jr. to throw the ball to, but I think they're gonna run. They're gonna we need a running back to run the ball. But I'm like, in that situation, maybe you just go ahead. You could have gotten David Montgomery out of Detroit. You could have gotten Javonte Williams. You could have gotten the Chargers just signed back J.K. Dobbins. You could have gone and gotten him, for a cheap amount of money and save that premium pick maybe for an edge rusher or offensive tackle or something. Yeah, if you're the Cardinals, you're playing the Archie Manning lottery at this point.
You must be so proud.
I think so. I think if you're the Cardinals, you're playing the Archie Manning lottery right now. But I think they said there's some good quarterbacks coming out next year. This year wasn't so much, but this year. There's another thing we need to talk about too. The SEC, as of late, when it comes to producing quarterbacks, outside of like Joe Burrow the last couple of years, it's like a lot of the good quarterbacks haven't come out of the SEC. Alabama for sure. We can count maybe Jalen Hurts. I think he's an anomaly because he was at Oklahoma first, and I think then he was at Alabama, then went to Oklahoma to go play. But there's not necessarily great quarterback play coming out of the SEC. I think they used to, but as of late, they haven't been the quarterbacks that have been taken that high.
This is the best athlete he ever coached. And this guy runs with a lot
All
of
right, Titans
tenacity.
take it in. Say hi.
The effort plays that he's made in his career are fantastic. If there's a negative, and he looks for the home run all the time.
Hi?
Yes, you said hi.
Every time.
I don't understand.
You're hearing the same thing I'm hearing.
Huh?
You're hearing the same thing I'm hearing.
No, I'm not. I don't hear anything.
Well, because you're listening to your tablet.
Huh?
Listening to your tablet. Uncle Sean said hi. Your Uncle Sean, Uncle Kenny said hi.
Hi.
Now he's.
I need to give you your hugs, Dad.
Titans pick is in.
Yeah. I
Like,
need to give you your hugs. Okay.
can you put the pillow down, please?
Once again, after breaking some of Jerome Bennett's record, he also joins it
Okay,
as the only
I'm
Notre Dame running back to be
What?
in the top 10 in the common draft era, which started in 1967. So Jeremiah Love is now a member of the Arizona Cardinals. And that brings us to the Tennessee Titans. The Titans went 3-14 a year ago. Robert Saleh had taken over as head coach there. And now the Titans. have
No, I will
made
say,
their selection.
I do like the Titans' new uniform. I like they went back to the baby blues,
NFL
the
draft.
Houston Oilers type style.
Reset date for they took Cam Ward, their quarterback, number 1 overall last year.
Hopefully, we'll get the draft in Baltimore one year. I know Shashi Brown. He's like the money guy for the Ravens. I think he's been campaigning for the Baltimore to get the draft. Sure.
The 2026 NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select Darnell Tate.
Oh man, they got Carnell Tate. There's the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. You gotta look at it, man. And they still got Jeremiah Smith. The people forget they still got Jeremiah Smith coming out, I think, next year. So he goes to Tennessee Titans. Yeah. Who's their quarterback? Who's the Titans quarterback?
They end up going Silver playmaker. You mentioned Cam Ward. They picked first.
All right, Cam Ward is still there. So he actually gets an actual, wide receiver threat to throw the ball football to. They still got a lot of stuff they got a lot of holes they got to fix there, though. Still a lot of holes they got to fix. Still interesting to see. Like, this was how fast things can change. When they had Derrick Henry, they were a playoff team. Arguably, when they had Mike Vrabel there as well, arguably maybe a Super Bowl contender, depending on how things fell. They were like right there on the cusp. They weren't exactly a legit Super Bowl contender, but how things change so much in the NFL. You go from a playoff contender to all of a sudden, now your whole team you got to blow up your whole team, and your head coach leaves, and now you're the Titans how they played last year. And Cam Ward goes there, and it's like just thrown into the fire literally for him. So hopefully he has a better year. And they picked they got 10. Now they got somebody to throw the football to. Yeah, somebody to throw football to now. Now let's get him a line. Let's get him an old line that he can that have to run around for his dear life. Speaking of Mike Vrabel, I want to talk about that. Just interesting, real quick. It's amazing to me. Like he said, I think he's not going to be there for day 3 of the draft. I think he's in the draft forum tonight for the New England Patriots for the draft, either for the next today and tomorrow. But the lack of accountability from Mike Vrabel, and now apparently there have been photos that got leaked of him kissing Diana Rossini. Now that can't even be avoided. Diana Rossini already stepped down from the Atlantic, so that's been done. But I think there were photos apparently got leaked of. Or at least I'm not sure, allegedly got leaked, or apparently I'm not sure. I think they apparently got photos that leaked of Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel kissing. Because at first we were like, oh, they're just holding hands. We didn't really see them. That's the most damning thing you can see. So here we go. This is a photo of they posted it like 9 hours ago. Them in a club, and where he's like holding her or whatever, and then he looks like there's one where he kind of leans over. You see if I can show this to y'all real quick. Let me see if I can pop this up.
1 or 2. Yeah. Imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. for the 5th overall. That any of those Ohio State receivers were selected. Going 4th overall as we go now.
I'm trying to see if I post a link real quick.
Thank you, Reese. I'm here with Parnell's father, LaShawn. And LaShawn, what stands out most to you from your son's journey to this point?
It's just been a long journey, Molly, and it's well deserved. The first receiving taken in the draft. It's really
here we go. Okay.
we have a hope for.
So let's see if you guys can see it. Share my screen. So yeah, page 6.
They're getting the best wide receiver.
There's the photo of them right there. Some nightclub, apparently back in 2020.
Whatever you want, he does.
Of him like getting real close. I don't think he's checking her breath. That's all I'm saying. Got his ring on his. That is just wild. That's wild. Had the ring on it right there. Had the ring on. Definitely not checking her breath. That's interesting. But yeah, that's from 6 years ago. That's what's crazy about that is but everybody said all the stories she was getting, not only with either the Tennessee Titans or even the Patriots the last few years, Like that's the integrity of as a journalist, you want to be able to make sure you get your information the right way. There's some shady ways to get information for a lot of these journalists, but especially when it comes to sports, you're expected, especially as a woman reporter, there's already the assumption that a lot of some of these women have slept their way to the top or wherever it is, and they sleep with players and stuff like that. So especially the ones now that's why a lot of them are very extremely angry at Dianna Russini, because this sets them back so much. It's like we try so hard to get rid of this stigma about women in sports, and here she goes out here messing with married man, both of them married, and a head coach. And not only that, it'd be one thing if they were having an affair. It'd be one thing if they were just having an affair. But it's the fact that she was using her connection to then also get stories out there as well. And a lot of other reporters have earlier came to her defense, saying she's a great reporter, she does really good work, blah blah blah. But yeah, like you said, Ken, and like that takes all the credibility gone. All of that. They were like, "Oh, you were clearly just getting your stories because you're sleeping with your source. You're sleeping with your source." You know, that's like a spy. That's like a spy that's on deep cover or whatever, sleeping with his source or something. It's like you're getting too close. You're getting too close. You can't get that close to your source. You can't get that close. So it's weird how they posted the videos of Dianna Russini over the last few years, constantly talking about how she hates her married life and her husband probably hates her, and she joked about getting a divorce and all that other stuff. And I will say, whenever you hear couples joking about that a lot, especially, I'm going to leave tomorrow and all that stuff, there's some truth to that. There's some truth coming out, especially if they're doing it around friends and stuff, like friends and family. Like there's some truth to there. If they constantly joke around about leaving and stuff like that, like there's some little nuggets, little truth nuggets there. Yeah, it's like no one's gonna just because of how what's come out there, you know. Now for Mike Vrabel, this couldn't have come at a worse time for him and the New England Patriots. This is going to be a big black cloud over the Patriots season this year. You already got Stephon Diggs, who had his stuff going on with Cardi B from last season, but it didn't really spill into the media, not until like Super Bowl week. You know, it didn't really affect the team. This is going to affect the team. How can you ask these guys to come into the team this season about accountability, about being there, about being loyal, you know, about being like just all that stuff, and you weren't accountable to your wife, you weren't loyal to your wife, you're out here creeping for the last 6 years, and then look, this picture took in 2020. I don't know how long this has been going on. This could have been going on for a decade, for all we know. It's been going on for a long time. How can you, as a head coach, now expect players to come into your organization and take you seriously about accountability? Like, dog, we just caught you. We just caught you, you know, out with the reporter, you know, and now guarantee you, I don't know what his wife's going to do. She has been thoroughly embarrassed by this. Thoroughly embarrassed by this. She has thoroughly been embarrassed by this. I don't know how she's going to deal with this. She could get a divorce and blow the whole thing up during the season, and just cause total mayhem. And I'm pretty sure, you know, if his wife files for divorce, that's going to definitely affect him and his coaching throughout the year. And I would have to assume, even if there is, Corey said, I saw a video of Ty Law saying Vrabel always had a flask in his locker and teammates would come take sips during practices and games. I believe that. Look, I don't even know to knock that, because I'm like Marshawn Lynch. You said he used to bring a bottle of Hennessy every game, every home game, and just drink. And him and a couple of other guys would drink the whole bottle. So I'm not even the drinking thing. I'm like, I expect players to do that. Arvell Reese. Okay, that was expected. Linebacker out of Ohio State. So John Harbaugh picks his new edge rusher Arvell Reese out of Ohio State gets his edge rusher. That's going to be a good defense, man. They still got Tavon Thibodeau there, even though they lost Dexter Lawrence. They still got Tavon Thibodeau there. They got Abdul Carter, and now you get Arvell Reese. So they're going to get a pretty good front line, pretty good edge rushers over there.
Remember, you got another head coach, a new head coach. With a lot of
But it'll be interesting to see. So Cleveland is next. We'll see what Cleveland does. Now that Jeremiah Love is gone, I would have to assume they probably need to go because that old line last year wasn't that great. I would have to assume that they're going to probably go all line here. Do I think Harbaugh's going to steal Vegas? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Harbaugh knows how to scout players. I don't think Harbaugh. Does Thibodeau got to get moved? I mean, Dexter was a D tackle. He still got Abdul Carter there and Cape. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I would have to think you can't. Thibodeau wasn't going to want to take less time. You know, Thibodeau wasn't going to be like, I'm not taking my snaps off just to get this rookie in here. So, yeah, Reese is an edge. Reese is an edge rusher, especially with his size. He's kind of small. He's a speed rusher. He's going to be definitely outside linebacker. They could put him at linebacker, outside linebacker, and still, depending on the formation, if they line up like a 4-3, they could still definitely, or actually, no, more like a 3-4. They put Kayvon Thibodeau, whoever they're going to have a D tackle, and then Abdul Carter, maybe on the right side as well. And you can still have Reese as a linebacker on the edge, but I don't know how Reese is in coverage and stuff like that. So it may depend how they're going to deal with the formation, situation in New York. Oh, the Chiefs traded up. The Chiefs traded up. I don't like this. The Chiefs traded up to get to the Browns pick. Who are they going to take? Are they going to steal the line? And they're going to steal. They're going to steal all the Ravens linemen. Are they going to steal it? I can't stand these guys. Damn you, Cleveland. But like I said, I think it was tough for Cleveland because it was like outside of the edge rusher they wanted. I don't think they wanted Ruben Bain or anything. That it was like it was going to go. So.
I grew up on the east side of Cleveland, Ohio, the Glendale neighborhood area. Played for the Glendale Titans all the way from 5 to like 12. There's so many big names who came from there. So many specifically that went to Ohio State. Troy Smith, Marshawn.
Now let's also remember for wide receivers in this draft, there's still a lot of good wide receivers that are still available. Okay, so they got the 9th pick. 74 would be day 3, the 3rd round. They got a 3rd round pick. And 148, 5th round, maybe. Okay, so if you're thinking about wide receivers, Tyreek Hill is still a free agent. Stephon Diggs is still a free agent. There's still some June 1st stuff that got. They're talking about AJ Brown could get traded before the June 1st cutoff. Could get traded tonight, for all I know. Who is Brazel, Corey? Let me look up Brazel. Brazel. Let me see. Chris Brazel, the second. Yeah, I saw him in Tennessee. I think he's got some pretty good measurables, but I think he wasn't an elite guy. Well, you're not expecting him to have an elite guy. I think here's the thing. I think the thing for the Ravens is with us, you already got Zay Flowers. You still got Devontae Walker. So he runs a 4-3. Brazel runs a 4-3. He's more like a Christian Watson type player, but he is 6'4". And I think the Ravens need to get – they've been talking for years about the Ravens getting Lamar Jackson more big body wide receivers. Stop drafting these like got 5'8", 5'9" guys and get him just get him some more big body wide receivers.
2026 NFL draft. The Kansas City Chiefs like Mansour Dwayne.
Oh, they got the cornerback from LSU. Number 1 cornerback in the draft, Mansour Lo. They got him from LSU. That's a good pick, especially since they traded. They got rid of, was it McDuffie? I think McDuffie left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he went to the Rams. He was one of their top picks. He was in the first round for the 2022 NFL draft. They didn't want to pay him, so he ended up getting traded to the Rams, and they replaced him with the best cornerback in the draft. So the Chiefs don't miss a beat, man. The Chiefs don't miss a beat.
You better have somebody to fill his shoes, and there he is.
This guy is an exceptional cover guy. And that's all right. He covers people and mirrors people out of routes as well as anybody I've seen this year. Plays a lot of bump and run. You can see, and this completion percentage against him is the lowest of any corner in college football this year.
The Commanders pick is in.
So you're going to see him on getting the pick.
They trade both corners?
I love this guy. I'm a DB guy. So anybody that hit covers and break on the
Did they really trade both cornerbacks?
They're not afraid to come from you, Coach. I know you're a DB guy. He excels in front of his school him and footwork. The guy that changed for him came in high school. You were in high school in Maryland, and he was like,
Oh, Williams, yeah. Yeah, I guess they did.
His coach, Kyle,
Huh.
he said sometimes the bench is the best place to learn a lesson. And Delane said, you know, in Humblebee, it was a great learning lesson. And after that, the light, the fire, it was.
Yeah, they really had those guys for like basically on their rookie contracts and just said, all right, we're good with, and they traded to both of them. All right, the Commanders pick is in. Now, if Price gone, I would think they draft. Now, Carnell Tate is also gone. Let's see who's on the board still.
Thank you, Reese. I'm here with Mansour.
Let's
Father
check.
Jeff for the win. You just had the biggest smile as you were looking up. What
Let's
was
look at the
your
draft
reaction
tracker and
to
see
you?
what we got. Who's still on the board?
I mean, for them to trade up as well as a place that he already wanted to play, he respects the DBs that come out of there. So for him, it's great that you can still grow with the dog, you know. So we expect a lot from him. I know they as well, but we're excited.
What stands out most?
So best available. Let me see if I can
His
share.
commitment early. I think one of the biggest things that I know he hit the transfer portal. And
Francis McGuire
so he's
out of Miami, offensive tackle. Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles out of Ohio State, the safety and the linebacker. Ruben Bain still there. Makai Lemon. So here's the guy I think that's the guy out of USC, the wide receiver out of USC. Either Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State, wide receiver, or Makai Lemon is who I think is who I think the Commanders get, just because of what situation that happened with Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry last year with the contract stuff, and then he was kind of hurt in and out during last season. He was not really, available when he needed to be, but also, because Jaden Daniels was dealing with some injuries as well. But they need another wide receiver on the outside. I think they realized he really didn't have anybody else to throw the football to, so they just kind of doubled Terry, and he wasn't able to get the football that much. He needs somebody else to get the ball. So I'm like, either it's going to be Jordan Tyson or Mikhail. I think they definitely go wide receiver here. I think they go wide receiver here.
Just selected by the Chiefs, the Washington Commanders, and now on the clock, and it's time to go back to the commissioner with another specialty pick from the National Football League.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, is awarded to one player each year and celebrates their profound impact on and off the field. I'm joined on stage by former winners Lynn Swan and Jerome Bennett.
So, Corey, I asked, do you think Brain is overrated? I know they were talking about his small hands and small arm length and all that stuff, but they compared him to other edge rushers that, in the past have had smaller arms and have been really good. Do you don't like Bain?
On behalf of the Payton family and Nationwide,
I'll say this: if Sonny Styles out of Ohio State falls, I want the Ravens to draft him, a linebacker out of Ohio State. Like, just because I think that Roquan is going to be probably on his last legs, and if you get a guy like him in the building with Jesse Minter, they're already saying he's going to be like a Fred Warner type. Yeah, that's what they need. The Ravens need. Oh, never mind. They got Sonny Styles. Never mind. I was wrong. That was a good pick. That's a good pickup for the Commanders. But however, like they already have Luvu there. They already got Luvu there. So I'm like, did they really need? They needed to beef up that offense. Like the running back situation there. But I mean, again, they're not really any premier running backs in this first round. To be honest with you. If we look at the best remaining, there's not really any premier running backs left in this draft. I really think they missed an opportunity getting a Tyson or Mekhi Lemon. They need another wide receiver threat, and those guys are legit. Like those guys are legit. Like you can't mess with any of those guys. But yeah, okay. I thought it'd been really nice they drafted Caleb Downs to be like their first safety they've drafted in the top round like that since Sean Taylor. I think that had been kind of a nice little story. Yeah. So they got Styles now and they got Owe on the outside. So Owe had 10 sacks with the Chargers last year after he got traded to the Ravens traded him to the Chargers. So we'll see how that turns out. Again, I think they should have gotten a wide receiver. I didn't like that. I don't think they needed to draft a Sonny Styles. Like I don't know how much impact he's gonna have for Jaden Daniels. They need more offense. So you said my dream for us to trade those later round picks to stay within the top 150, but that's not gonna happen. I would not be surprised if the Ravens at 14 then trade back to 20, 21. And then so if whatever they don't like is there, then maybe they trade down to 32 to kind of just to get more capital. And then, because as they said on average, most drafts, there's about 15 to 20 guys that are legit first round talents. But because there are 32 teams, 32 guys are going to get picked in the first round. But they said usually it's about 20 guys that are legit first rounders. And then the next guys after that are basically day 2 picks that you're drafting and they're giving first round money to. So the Ravens are still in that realm where they're the 14th pick, where they can still get good value, a good first round talent if he's on the board. Get good first round talent there if he's available. So your Ravens usually pick, late 20s or whatever like that. So a lot of times the Ravens would either trade out of the draft, or not trade out of the first round. A lot of times we saw the Ravens did it many years and get, stack up picks for next year because they're like, if we're picking at 27, 28, we're not really getting a first round guy. We don't really want to pay him first round money. So we'll wait till tomorrow. And if he's still there, we'll go ahead and grab him then at pick 33 or 34. So Saints pick is in. Obviously, Kellen Moore took over as head coach over there. They got Tyler Schnau, who's their quarterback as well. Let me see here. Let's see what their teams and what needs we have. Saints. So they need edge rusher, wide receiver. So they could take Reuben Bain as well. They could also take Tyson and Mekhi Lemon. So they have players available on this board for them that they can go ahead and take for sure. But you know how the drafts work. All it takes is for one team. All it takes is for one team to pick somebody that no one expected, and it throws everything out of whack. I do expect once a team starts picking offensive tackles, you're gonna see a run on offensive linemen. You're gonna start picking guards and linemen like crazy. Picking guards and tackles like crazy. Get them off the board.
I know I've been unreasonable. Okay, a lot unreasonable. But I'm so. But I got some help from UKG and AI smart. I'm ready to think about the future. Trying new things together. I'll even be more flexible with your time. Look at this. It just feels right. There are no guarantees.
But yeah, they're moving along so far. They said the first big trade we had was the Chiefs moving up to take the Browns. take the Browns pick and ended up picking the LSU cornerback. Yeah, like Kenny, you have been saying it. They definitely, the Ravens saw that firsthand last year when they lost Andy Madubuike for the year through the neck injury, and then just obviously the O-line fiasco and how that fell apart. The Ravens need to. I would like them to draft the Penn State O-lineman. There's a couple other guys. There's a Rutledge out of Georgia Tech that's still pretty good. There's one Pregnon out of Oregon, but they talk about Iona out of Penn State like he's they talk to him like he's the next Marshall Yanda, like he's super athletic. They said he's kind of like he's the guard version of the tackle out of in Detroit. Can't think of his name right now. Who's the tackle, the star tackle that Detroit has? I can't remember his name.
There's more room for imagination in the 3-room TV league. Welcome to Genesis.
Welcome back to the 2026 NFL Draft presented by Bud Light. The picks announced here in Pittsburgh and spectacular aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear.
Saints are picking it. This is my wife's team now. Like she stopped rooting for the Commanders just because she's tired of being let down by them, but she's a Saints fan because we love New Orleans. So she's now rooting for the Saints. So we'll see what the Saints.
Well, Reese, no surprise, it's been a very Buckeye heavy first 7 picks that we have seen so far tonight.
Man, look, this is obviously people forget too. Now not Decker.
Perhaps it was a bit of a surprise to see Cardell Tate, the wide receiver, be the first taken with Arbel Reese for much of the pre-draft process being expected to
Who's
be
the
Ohio State linebacker or defensive player period off the board. That being said, as Kirby mentioned, that Tennessee offense still taking shape.
Penei Sewell. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Penei Sewell.
As we look ahead, there's 7 picks. We haven't seen any offensive linemen on the board. It's either going to be a bunch of defensive players or offensive linemen early. Defensive players take the cake so far, Reese. We'll see what the offensive linemen can.
Well, Phil, that's one of the things. We looked at this draft coming in. We assumed that there was going to be quite a run on offensive line.
Yeah, I'm talking about Penei Sewell. They said he's like the guard version of Penei Sewell.
Longtime coordinator, former Boise State quarterback, now got into forces in New Orleans. The Saints, some thought maybe they were trying to move up.
Yes, she's not a Commanders fan anymore. She said she just thought, especially since they dropped the Redskin name, she's like, I can't root for them no more. It's like they haven't been good since. So she's like, I'm gonna be a good. It's like New Orleans is her second, like home away from home. So I'll root for the Saints. And everybody should have like. They always shorten, the names of a lot of these teams and stuff. And Commies was the first name. It's like, Commies, really? Did y'all think about this? No, clearly not.
The Ravens picked the Saints.
They got Tyson. Good pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick for them.
And Jordan is celebrating with his family, but not his brother Jalen, who plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and now Jordan's got bragging rights because Jalen went 20.
That's crazy. He got 2 sons, and one in the NBA, one in the NFL. How often does that happen? But that's also like people forget the hockey U.S. hockey team had, I think, the two of the brothers play for the U.S. hockey team that won the gold, but they have a third brother that I think just got drafted that's playing in NHL as well. So they all 3 of their adult sons are playing NHL hockey, but here his brother plays in the NBA and he's playing in the NFL. Man, how often is that? Well, I can think about what the Watt siblings.
Daddy Huts.
30.
No, you did 20.
I did 30.
No, you did 20.
30.
Nope. That was only 29.
Come on.
He caught 8 touchdowns from
There's one. All right, but that's a good pickup. Yeah, the competition. Yeah, it's the competition. You got actual pro athletes living in your house growing up. Yeah, it's just nuts. So you're thinking about the Watt. Yeah, the Watt siblings. Who else? That's in the NFL right now. I think there's another one. Their siblings are around. Not the Gronkowskis. I can't remember who's together right now. But there's a lot of them that are like cousins, the Mannings. Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of them are like first cousins. There's a lot of guys that they're first cousins with somebody. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. Tiki, about Rondé and Tiki Barber, I forgot about the McCaffreys. Luke McCaffrey and Christian McCaffrey, right? Yeah. Their dad, Ed McCaffrey was. I wasn't a Broncos fan, but Ed McCaffrey was probably one of my favorite wide receivers growing up. He wasn't fast or everything. He was quick, but he was a good route runner. He could get open. Ed McCaffrey could find a way to get open. So yeah.
Thank you, Reese. I'm here with Jordan's father, John.
So yeah, you see like I said, the emotion. I mean, these guys' lives are changing. These guys have worked, since they were 10 years old. They were like 10 years old, 9 years old. Pee wee football, going through high school, going through the recruiting process in college, and here you are getting drafted, going to the NFL. Like one night you're still a college student, and the next night you're now a pro athlete making millions of dollars, especially for these first round guys. These first round guys are signing a nice little contract, not the contracts they used to sign. Like we all remember before they instituted the caps for rookies, they were giving out some stupid contracts. There were guys that were legit hold out, even though they got drafted, would still hold out because they were still negotiating a contract before they even took a snap in the NFL. So I'm like, it just made sense that they went ahead and decided like, okay, we're gonna put a cap on this. So guys, just like this is the money based on the slot. Like guys 1 through 5 get this, and then 6 through whatever, and then it just kind of works its way down like that. The Saints QB is the same age as Lamar. Yeah, the Saints QB, Tyler Schnell or whatever. They said, you're gonna see a lot of guys, I think, going forward. Like, don't be surprised looking at college football and look at the Indiana team. The Indiana team had a lot of 5-year, 6-year guys who were, because of COVID or whatever, guys that had that they were already 23, 24 years old playing college football. And that's a big difference size-wise and physically different from if you're a 19-year-old, but you're playing a guy that's 24, he's add a little bit more mass to his body. You're going to see a lot of older guys start going into the draft, which would be interesting to see how that works. Guys are going to stay in college a little bit longer because of, like Sean, like you said, because of NIL. Guys are going to stay in college a little bit longer to get as much money as they can, especially because of the transfer and how that stuff works. You may see a lot of guys. Stay in the league. I'm coming to the draft at 23, 24 instead of coming into the draft at 21 like they used to. All right, they took tackle. It's expected. Shedeur Sanders needs some help back there. He was running around for his dear life. Spencer Fano out of Utah. And I will say, I do like the fact that these guys are deciding to stay home now instead of going to the green room for these NFL drafts and spending time with their family, their friends, teammates, they had in college, and neighbors, school teachers that they had in high school or whatever, like celebrating with those people and not going there and, leaving people out kind of thing. So I do like, and it's just takes a lot of the stress off. You're there, you got catered food. You've been chilling the entire day for the most part, waiting for the draft, and your phone is in your hand, waiting for the call from the coach. So All right, the Giants pick is in. Corey? Do you think does he steal the guard at Penn State from us? Does he steal the guard at Penn State? They already picked an edge rusher. I think they need another wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Mekhi Lemon here. Jordan Tyson's now at the board. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Mekhi Lemon because they need somebody now. Look, because what's his name? The wide receiver they had last year for the Giants. What do you say here?
He held his own. The ball's in the air. Touchdown. He knew it was going to be special. Giants back on the clock about to make their second pick here in the top 10.
They still need, who was the guy they had last year?
The New York Giants select Francis Mauigoa.
They took a tackle. They took an offensive tackle. Okay. So our guy's still on the board at pick 10. Ruben Bain is still on the board as well. As for the Ravens here, let's see. We look at best available, who's still on the board for the Ravens. Ruben Bain still on the board. Mekhi Lemon still on the board. Kenyon Sadiq, Monroe Feeling, and Ione is also still on the board as well. So there's a cornerback, Jermod McCoy is available as well. But if any, I think out of Ione, Sadiq, Bain, and Lemon, if any of those guys are still on the board, come the Ravens pick, I think they're picking somewhere in that situation right there. Let's look at the Broncos real quick and see what they need. Broncos' main needs are D tackle, linebacker, tight end, offensive tackle, offensive guard. So, Peter Woods out of Clemson, I think best available for them. They said they need a tight end as well. So I mean, you could get Sadiq. Sadiq would be a good pick. He's an interest because he's like a freak athlete, man. He runs a 4.4. I don't know. He looks like a basketball, like an Antonio Gates type player. Like he's a basketball player that just happens to play tight end. Like it's just arm length and everything. Like I would like for the Ravens if the Ravens were able to get a guy like Sadiq, but there are other tight ends that are available, like Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt still there, Oscar Delp out of Georgia, he's available. There's a couple guys that are available for the Ravens at tight end if they need to go pick. Let's remember they picked Dennis Pitta and Ed Dixon, I think in the 3rd and 4th round, in that year back in 2011, 2010 when they drafted those guys before they went to the Super Bowl. So they drafted Pitta later in the round, so they don't have to get Trigg. I thought Michael Trigg out of Baylor as well, so they don't have to get Sadiq, reach for him, especially if other guys are of need are there. What we saw last year is, you still got Mike Green at edge rusher, you still got Disa Isaac. You don't know what he's going to do. You got Trey Henderson as well, but I think we all know you got to get some depth there as well. So wouldn't be surprised they get a Ruben Bain. Looking at this best available list, I think he's the only edge rusher left that's going to be. He's the only edge rusher that's left, I think, in the top 10 that's worth picking. Let me see. Yeah, edge rusher. Well, Akeem Mesidor out of Miami. So him and the two Miami guys, and then it's not until you get to Keldrick Falk at 15.
Kind of set the tone with his physicality.
The Cowboys, so they trade up. Corey, you said it. They traded up to 11. They traded Micah Parsons away. Maybe they take Ruben Bain here. They got rid of Micah Parsons. Maybe they go get Ruben Bain. And that can't be wide receiver. They already gave Pickens the tag already, and they still got CeeDee Lamb. So we're not gonna be running back here. So I think it might be Ruben Bain.
Francis is my favorite offensive lineman in this draft. And I like those big, wide hip.
Pause. Hey, yo. Pause. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all watching Nick Saban on ESPN? Said I like that big, wide ass. Pause.
the 11th pick.
That was crazy.
And all your appliance answers.
I want something to simplify my day.
That wow.
I am all in one laundry that you, I catch color. Find your appliance answers now at the Home Depot.
Introducing Gatorade Lower Sugar. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners. It's 75% less sugar. Gatorade Lower Sugar. Drinks better than water.
She's got 12 items.
Okay, eyes on your own best. Vehicle owners turning into the parents' love rules. Let's go.
Everybody else has to put dog with some trash can.
No, it's a thing.
There's a dedicated RV parking around the back.
No, we're not leaving you note. It's okay. You don't need a ticket. There's no one waiting.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you put home on auto loans.
Technically, these onions count as one item.
You're literally the only one who cares.
There's a little kid stuck on an electrical tower.
Let's move.
Yeah, today is just the first round. For all of us who are older, you know, I love the days. I remember when I think the first round was always, it was Friday night. Friday night was usually the first round, but then Saturday, usually I think most of Saturday, maybe I don't even think it was Sunday. I think it was just Friday and Saturday. Friday would be the first round, and then Saturday was the second round through the seventh. And I remember, like, we would just have the TVs on in our dorms and in the clusters and stuff, and just have that on from noon to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And it was just the draft was just rolling off, and we just kind of like seeing whatever. But you know, they obviously they could monetize. We can monetize, you know, whatever. Friday, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Sunday, right? So I think it was like second round through the second round through the fourth round or something like that, and then rounds 5, 6, and 7 were usually like the last, like maybe Sunday. But yeah, that thing would be on from like noon to like 4 or 5 p.m. Like we just have it rolling. But now first round is Thursday night, second round is just one night, and now everything else is on Saturday. So but it made Fridays better, I think, because you could go to a bar to watch the first round, everybody get all ecstatic. Not a lot of people getting ecstatic on a Friday night about a second round draft pick. Like, let's be real. Like it used to be a good Friday night thing. We would go out to like a bar or something and watch the draft at a bar, like the first round. And everybody go, get excited about their picks. It's like no one's caring about the second round pick, you know, getting excited about the second round pick. But yeah, I think Bane's getting picked by the Cowboys. They traded up to come. Michael Parsons is not there. They need an edge rusher. It makes sense.
Made the deal to get into that 11th spot. Jerry Jones and they made the trade with the Miami Dolphins, who originally were set to pick 11th, and you see what the Cowboys team needs are. Here's a good bunch of good guys.
With the 11th pick, the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs.
Oh, they got the safety.
Here's Caleb Brown. Caleb Downs celebrating.
He's a really good safety. Really good. He's really good, but there were edge rushers on the board that they needed.
Great competitor. He's got great character. He's so instinctive as a player. He can play downhill. He can play in the box. He can play in the big field.
All right, he better be Ed Reed. I'll tell you that right now. He better be Ed Reed.
Person and competitor.
Oh, I'm gonna say picking
I'll
him.
tell you what,
The fact that they traded up to get him.
More than this guy as a player on our football team. And he did a great job and improved even more in Ohio State. Now, I'm going to give the Dallas Cowboys a little tip. His mama in recruiting made the best white chili I ever ate. I need to go with it.
I love some white bean chicken chili, baby. I got that. Yes, sir. But Caleb Downs is a talented guy. Some say as talented as any player in this.
We'll see.
Maybe
We'll
not
see.
in the previous years he gets drafted now.
Yeah, Ed Reed's tough to follow. Oh, is Downs, yeah, his brother is on the Indianapolis Colts. Got 2 sons in the NFL. She ain't hurting. I tell you that right now. She ain't hurting. Miami pick is already in. Who do we think Miami's picking here? Obviously, Tua is not going to be there. You know, I think they already cut Tua, but he's not going to be there. What does Miami do here? I don't know what they do. Do you get a Miami guy? Do you go get a Ruben Bain? Do you go? There's a couple. The 2 edge rushers that are listed. Do you go get any of those?
It was a great feeling at the moment. Pride.
Yeah, I don't know what Miami does. I really don't know what Miami does here. Yeah, that's true. Dolphins receiver, they ain't got no receiver. That's a good point. Right, that's a good point. They need a receiver. Maybe Mekhi Lemon. You know, maybe Mekhi Lemon goes there. Let's see what their needs are. Let me go check out the Dolphins real quick.
Best way to draft, but it's great. I'm emotional because he's always been the best player on the field, man.
So they need a wide receiver, cornerback, edge. Wide receiver, cornerback, edge. So yeah, you got Mekhi Lemon on the board. Ruben Bain is still on the board. You know, you could get Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. But I would think they probably the last really good wide receiver on the board, Mekhi Lemon, as a top 5 pick. He's a top 5 pick still. He's a number 2 overall pick, I think, left in this draft. So I'm like, yeah, I'm picking him. He's a number 1 wide receiver in the draft, Mekhi Lemon. He wasn't drafted. That's how always the draft. Just because you're the number 1 of your position doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get picked just because you're the number 1 of your position. It's all about team need. So anybody watching the draft, they're the number 1 player of the position. Why weren't they drafted first? A lot of times it's about team need and how they kind of that player's profile and how their style of play fits the team. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he's still the Mekhi Lemon is the number one ranked wide receiver in this draft. He's still available. I would have to assume. The Dolphins picking this.
Congratulations, Freeze.
But I'll say this for the Cowboys. I don't think Caleb Downs. It's a good pick for the future. I just don't think it moves the needle for them.
This guy's been a pro since he played for Coach Saban as a freshman. I think
I'm
in the box, it makes as a nickel. He can play up as a linebacker, as a linebacker. He can play deep as he does right here. There's just so many different ways that this Dallas Cowboys defense will benefit from having him there. And I'm telling you, he's one of those guys that the kitchen's going to have better morale because he's around. The training staff, he will impact the entire building in a positive way just by his presence being around.
So Caleb Downs going to the Cowboys. Dolphins about to make their selection 12th overall.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Caden Proctor.
Oh.
Alabama.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. They do need O-line help, but
There's a lot that he got done at Alabama, including
okay. I guess. I don't know what to really say. Again, I don't know why Mekhi Lemon still on the board, man. We're getting to pick. We're at the Rams. Now the Rams have an interesting. They have some picks. Imagine if they got Kenyon Sadiq. You already got Puka Nacua over there. You already got Devontae Adams. Imagine adding a Kenyon Sadiq tight end with Matthew Stafford's arm. Dangerous. Like, I get it, tackle, it helps secure the line. The Dolphins are on a multi-year rebuild. They blew up the whole team this offseason. They traded a lot of guys away. They let guys go in free agency. They're in a total rebuild. It's going to take them a couple of years. So, I mean, getting an offensive tackle, getting your tackle, left tackle for the future. It's not a sexy pick, but the draft is always a culmination of things, not necessarily what they're the one. But I think a lot of people we get stuck on the first pick and not what the whole draft looks like. So we'll see who else they ended up picking in this draft. So, and how those pans out. Like I said, this is only the first night, so I'm going to see one guy get picked. But the Rams are picking next. The Rams, again, they have some options. Rams had one of the most explosive offenses, I think, last year. Let me see. Let's see what their needs are.
That'd be an area he's going to probably want to improve. But overall, what a big, impressive guy.
Rams need wide receiver, over the tackle, cornerback. So yeah, tight end is kind of last on their thing. So wide receiver could be Mekhi Lemon. Again, you still got Devontae Adams. You still got Puka Nacua. Now, I will say, Puka Nacua is an interesting situation right now because he's been saying some wild stuff as of late, and I feel like there is a fear that he may get himself in trouble during the season, either between now and the end of the season, because he's been saying a lot of wild stuff as of late, and it's very possible he could get himself in a little bit of trouble, just for whatever reason. He's been saying a lot. He's a great wide receiver, don't get me wrong, but he's been saying a lot of wild stuff as of late, so I think it's going to be – I wouldn't be surprised if they take a wide receiver here. Do they take a Bain? I don't know. Again, the Ravens are going to have their pick for sure. Now, here's the situation. The Ravens could trade back and get another day 2 pick or something like that. If somebody wants to trade back up, somebody that's now out of the draft, that has already picked. So teams like the Browns or whatever, or the Cowboys, if they want to trade back into the first round, they already don't have another pick, and go get a Bain or somebody. If the Ravens are like, we're fine with either Sadiq, Ione, or Bain, you can take whichever one. We're good. So I love how the Ravens' needs are cornerback. But list from, I guess, greatest to least: cornerback, safety, D tackle, offensive guard. Offensive guard should be number one. Anything on the O line for the Ravens needs to be number one, based on what we saw number 77 do.
It's for the bride. She said, Christmas.
All right, Rams pick is in. Oh yeah, for sure. Willis and H. Yeah, man. They got Malik. Yeah, Malik Willis is the new quarterback there now, right? Yeah, man. I forgot we got Longer Bean. I forgot about Longer Bean. That sounds like a porn name, Longer Bean. I don't know about Kona. Tampa, I feel like they didn't utilize him enough. I feel like they didn't use Tampa enough last year for whatever reason. And again, that's a lot of it just because of, think of Longer Bean. That sounds like an old school, like a 70s, 80s adult film star name. I remember when he got drafted to us, I was like making so many jokes about his last name. I'm like, I would hate to be it. If I was his team, I would have constantly been making fun of his last name. We still have TJ Tampa. We still have some good corners. Just that Dirk Diggler. Yeah, Dirk Diggler. What was that, Boogie Nights? Dirk Diggler? Those are those old school names, those 70s, 80s names.
But at the NFL draft, USAA brought Caleb Downs and his grandfather, retired Army officer Gary Downs Sr., to the Disabled American Veterans Chapter in Columbus, Georgia, where Caleb connected with local veterans to talk about growing up with military values and navigating life challenges. USAA and the NFL.
His grandfather's still in shape. That's quite wow. They saw Caleb Downs' granddad. Like, his grandfather's still in shape. He's like, he's still jacked up.
downs, Gary looks the same as he did when I covered him in high school, when he stand up running back to Spencer High School. It looks like he can still pick up a third down if he did.
So yeah, look, it's the Ravens got their what? They went. Why get why in the first round?
By the Miami Dolphins. So up to this point,
That's wild.
12 players go off the board.
Maybe the Rams are playing chess and not. I don't get that at all. I mean, they don't need a lot. I get it. They don't need a lot, but that's all. Ty Simpson? Maybe they feel like we can develop under Matthew Stafford for a year. But still, like if I'm drafting a guy they could have gotten him in the second round. Like, why waste now? Why waste it now? Why waste it now? I don't get that. I don't get that. This Stafford's last year. Let me see what his contract says.
It's one after another after another. They all have different stories. Yeah. And yet there they are, the siblings.
He signed a 2-year, $84 million deal. This is the last year of his deal. Yeah, 2026 coming up is the last year of his deal. So, and especially because I know he had back issues earlier, and he had back issues in the season. Yeah, he's not even falling off. Like he won MVP last year. I don't get. He's 30. He is 38. So I guess he only got maybe a year. He's not Tom Brady. He's going to play. He's 42, 43. And he's got some back issues already. So I'm like, maybe they let him. Maybe they go the old adage route. They go the road route, and they let him sit for 2 years before he comes up. Rams fans are not going to like this if that's real. If that's Ty Simpson.
The Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Rams fans are not happy. They're like, what? What? Rams fans are like, what? Well, look, I'll say this. The ESPN got what they wanted. For all you that don't know, the last few weeks, ESPN, especially the guy from the Detroit, the commentator, can't remember his name right now.
If you're looking for a guy to coach on the field, why would you take Ty Simpson, a guy
Personality. What's his name? The old Detroit quarterback. Hasselbeck.
Coach Jason Simpson. He's a head football coach.
Dan Orlovsky. Right. So Dan Orlovsky. So Dan Orlovsky constantly was pushing Ty Simpson up the board constantly, and they were alleging that Alabama was paying ESPN or even paying Dan Orlovsky to constantly try to get Ty Simpson to get drafted in the first round. And they got what they wanted. He got drafted by the Rams in the first round. It helps Alabama for whatever reason, but he's not going to start. He's not going to start for the probably next 3 years. Ty Simpson ain't going to see the field for 2 or 3 years unless something happens to Matthew Stafford. So Corey, we got our guy Corey. I'm not going to say who. We got Ione or Bain. I'll wait till it's streaming right now, so I'll wait.
Jason, as the head coach at UT Martin, you've sent players to the NFL before, but never as a father. What were your emotions when you heard your son's name called?
That's pretty nice. I mean, that's pretty awesome, pretty special.
Yeah, that Ravens pick came in. All right, thanks, Corey. Yeah, thanks, Corey. The Ravens pick is in.
So, a lot of conversations to make sure that he was in a good spot.
I said I'm either happy with Bain or Ione. If they get the guy to get the guard, that solidifies that right position because you still got Voorhees on the left side. You still got Stanley on the left, and Rosengarten on the right. I think, and Kenny, you can attest to this because you played. You did O-line, especially in high school. The O-line is only as strong as its weakest link. And if one part of the O-line is falling apart, everybody's going to look bad. Everybody's going to look bad. Doesn't matter how many good players you have. If that one guy that you have on the line is, if one guy on the line that you have is weak or whatever and doesn't what is not that good, then the whole line falls apart. And I think we saw a lot of that. We saw Linderbaum not play his best football. We saw Voorhees not play well, even though he did the year before. Yeah, so I think solidifying that right guard spot is going to help out everybody else in that O-line. I still would like them probably get some more depth in this draft, or getting some O-line. There's a lot of good O-linemen they can find later in later rounds as well. But yeah. Left tackle. Yeah, you know, Ronnie Stanley's not getting any younger, right? And he's already had some ankle surgeries and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a tackle, you know, in the third or fourth round in this draft that they like that they can maybe develop for the next year or two. It's really good.
Strong arm, he's accurate, he can throw the ball and throw windows. So I really like Ty. I think the fact that he only played 13 games, his best football's ahead of him, and he's
only played 13 games in his entire college football career. He's only played 13 games. I don't know, but I don't like that. That's either very like he's got a lot of potential, or he's not really that good.
Teaching him, and he's getting mental reps and watching the best in the league. Yeah, so.
That's a pretty good situation.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think it's set up for success for him.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Baltimore Ravens look to be perfect. They've changed their leadership as well. John Harbaugh has moved on. He's the head coach.
Let's see. Trey Lance. Yeah, Trey Lance all over again, right? Yeah.
The 14th pick overall tonight. Mentor and the Ravens brass will make their first pick, and it will probably
Jesse Mentor's first pick as an NFL head coach.
Among a few that the Steelers might view as their rival. You might hear a few of the terrible towel waving fans voice their displeasure. With the 14th pick,
Shower me with your tears.
2026 NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select O-line Mavenga, Yowane, guard.
All right. Got him. We got him.
Absolutely nailed it. Perfect pronunciation for O-line Mavenga, Yowane. Vega, as he goes by, the first one.
Love it. They had him in. They went to his pro day. They had him in there. They already said the O-line coach for the new O-line coach for the Ravens was already working with him apparently several weeks ago. So this was their guy all along. I think it's as long as he was there. That's why the pick came in so fast. They are. This is who they wanted. This is who they wanted. They wanted him. They said the O-line coach the Ravens just hired the one who was with the Atlanta Falcons. He had been working with him while he was at his Penn State Pro Day, and this was their guy. This was the guy. They got the guy they wanted. So again, that's why I said why the pick was in so fast. They were like, he's still there. We're taking him. Like, it's not even a question. He's our guy. And then look again. This is also the Ravens got to play long game here because look, they're still working on a Lamar Jackson extension. They want to hopefully extend Lamar another 4 to 5 years on a contract, and they got to show Lamar, hey, we're serious about protecting you, and we know what happened last year, and we're not gonna do that again. So we're gonna get you a premier elite guard here. That doesn't mean we're gonna stop there. We can still, we got Simpson back from the Jets, so he's coming back to the Ravens. He has familiarity here, but also potentially get some depth as well because you know how stuff works. Guys get hurt during the year, but yeah. But this is. So as the Penn State fan, I'll just let you know because I watched Penn State for the last few years. He's been there. Solid in the run game. Solid. Super solid in the run game. They ran the yard boys, Nick Singleton, and Katron Allen. They ran the ball a lot going right behind him, especially on the right side. So he's solid. Like he's going to be great, not just for Lamar Jackson, but for Derrick Henry as well. Getting up to that second level, and he can move. Like he can get to that second level, punish people, and keep moving and good downfield as well. Like he can move.
First class guy, popular with his teammates. Vega Yowane, going to the Ravens. Tampa Bay Bucks. Pick that.
With Spring Black Friday savings at Home Depot, we have all your appliances.
I want appliances that fit my space and my schedule.
Samsung has features that will work for both. We have the perfect fit for your kitchen and all-in-one laundry that's
I know, right? He's ready to end like he's ready to end someone. Yeah, I agree. He did play with a mean streak. Like he's about this life. Like he's a football guy. Like he's a football guy. He's a football family. Like he's about this life. Like that's it. And I for us Ravens fans, I will say for people that are watching, we had some guys in the building that were like that. Remember Ryan Jensen, the center we had, Ryan Jensen. He was another guy to rip your head off. Like he was a guy that we let go. We didn't want to pay him. I think he was a center for us. We didn't want to pay him. Yeah. So, yeah, like we had some guys in the building that were, I think, that would rip your head off. But again, I think a lot of that had to do with John Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh didn't like those kind of players. I think those guys, because of how, just the guys that like rip your head off kind of guys, like that attitude does carry over, especially during game time. And, they can, get in people's faces and stuff like that. And I think Harbaugh, look, I'll say this. I think Harbaugh stayed away, told EDC to stay away from certain players because he didn't want to deal with their personalities. I think he did it on purpose. There's a lot of guys I think the Ravens probably should have picked, but because of personality traits, I think Harbaugh did not want to coach those kind of players. Because we had some guys like that in the building, and they let them all go. And it just tells me I think Harbaugh could not deal with those kind of personalities. So, and I think Jesse Minter, with tutelage being under Jim Harbaugh is a lot more intense than his brother is and John is. And I think that because Jim did play, especially pro football, could probably gave Jesse some, just pointers of being in the room, how to deal with those kind of guys, how to deal with those kind of characters. I think at the end of the day, any pro football team, any pro team in general, you need a couple guys with their screws loose. You need a couple guys. With their screws loose, for sure. You need a couple guys with their screws loose. Like, you don't need everybody with their screws loose, but a couple guys need to be a little unhinged, like especially because you need that on the field. Yeah. You said I don't see Neighbors staying the Giants long term. I agree with that. I just think that with the Jackson Dart situation and Scadaboo both getting concussions, and especially Dart with his situation, I think he was getting concussions. I think he at least half of the games towards the end of the season, at least five of his last 10 games, he was in concussion protocol. So I don't know how long Dart's going to be involved if he's constantly getting concussion protocol as a quarterback. Constant concussion protocol. Yeah. I don't know how long Malik Neighbors is going to stay there. Yeah, I agree with you.
Find out who's going to join them that big pirate ship as the Buccaneers. There's the game.
Bucks pick is in and pick was it 15?
Another new offensive coordinator with Jack Robinson, Tom Bowles, the head coach there. So they get to help out Baker Mayfield. Kind of approach they take their first pick in 2016.
With the 15th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Reuben Bain Jr.
Buccaneers get Reuben Bain. Yeah, he gets to stay in the state. So great. Doesn't have to go too far. You stay in state. But they all got the same. They all got the same suit. Look like the Golden Lords. Got the same suit on. They all look like the Golden Lords from Meteor Man.
I don't care about the measurements. He has small hands. He doesn't have long arms. Just watch the film.
Yeah, that accident thing came out, which I think was weird. I'm like, that wasn't. It's a public record. Like, I'm like, people probably knew about it. So why? Somebody obviously put that out there for him to fall. It's like who was that? the offensive tackle that stuff happened to. They posted a picture of him smoking weed through the gas mask or whatever it was. And that dropped him. He was like will be a top 3 draft pick, and he ended up dropping to like in the 20s or something like that because of that. That's same day.
About his approach and his attitude, want to be great. This guy has elite strength and power for his size. And I know everybody talks about his short arm.
Tunsil, Larry Tunsil, yeah.
Anybody that has enough arm to keep him from butting him in the throat.
Yeah, the Golden Lords, man. Yeah, the Golden Lords. That was a legit gang, man. They even the little dudes had suits on. I don't know how they found suits that small.
I spoke to the position coach, Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. He said his secret sauce is he wants to be coached hard. Not only that, he wants to be corrected in front of the team. And Jason said that's very rare at any level.
Ruben Bain's face looked like he's like 18, but his hairline said he's 35.
From Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, you read about that.
How about winning 4 state titles in high school in one of the more competitive areas in the country, Miami Central? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 state titles.
He'll move his way just a little bit north of Memphis. We go to Volley, Nebraska.
Well, Reese, I'm here now with Jason Taylor, and Jason, you know so much about this league and this position. What are the Bucks getting in Ruben Bain?
Everything is.
I wonder too, like when they print these jerseys out so I guess the guys that come to the draft, they have their jerseys probably printed in everybody's jersey number, and they just whichever one gets picked, they just take it, and then the other ones they just trash. Or honestly, it might be one of the screen print things where it's obviously not etched in, so it's just like a quick thing they can probably peel off or something like that later if they need to use it. Is that an Adidas emblem? I'm confused. Is that an Adidas sport coat, sport jacket? I'm confused. Why is she having an Adidas logo? Does he have a sponsorship on it? It's an Adidas suit. Adidas sells suits now. I'm confused. I'm surprised Mekhi Lemons still on the board. He's the best receiver in the. Him and Carnell Tate were number 1 and number 2. I'm kind of surprised Mekhi Lemons is still on the board. Yeah, I did hear. I thought he was taking snaps last year at center or something. Like he had played center a little bit when he was in college. But he's another. Emory is a versatile lineman. I think they have time to figure out what they're going to do. They have time for the Ravens. They have time to figure out what Emory Jones is going to do. The Ravens uniforms. I like the all black was dope. Love the all black. I did like the how they changed the panels on the pants. I like the panels on the pants. The helmet was the black helmet was dope. I like the white jerseys the most because they have all the details kind of show better, obviously, on the white jerseys. So I did like those pretty good. But I like them. I like the jerseys. I like the uniform.
The New York Jets like Kenyon Sadiq.
Oh, they got Sadiq. The Jets get Sadiq. Oh, he was in Idaho. That explains everything there, man.
Well, to me, this guy physically is as good as it gets. Then you're going to see him. He can attack you down the
Who was that? Who was that player? Was it CeeDee Lamb when he got drafted? Was it CeeDee Lamb when he got drafted and his girlfriend tried to grab his phone and he took it from her? Remember that when he was at his place or whatever, and was texting on it, I guess another phone to the coach, and his girlfriend tried to grab the other phone. He was like, snatch. I can't remember who that. I think it might have been CeeDee Lamb. I can't remember who that was. Aren't the Ravens supposed to get those rivalry jerseys? See, it was CD. Okay. Weren't the are the Ravens supposed to get those rivalry jerseys this year? Because remember last year the NFL started these rivalry series jerseys. Now, so the Ravens are next year. Okay, next year. Okay. So yeah, who they got back there as their quarterback to the Jets? Is Geno Smith is back, right? Geno Smith is back. So he's going to the Jets. He's going there with Aaron. Okay. We'll see. I'm pretty sure he's like, great, I'm going to the Jets. Fantastic.
Eventually had to dial that back. So I was scoring like 5 touchdowns a game. My grandmother diagnosed with breast cancer. The people, that was the last game got to see me play. We ended up actually passing the day after the game. It was a shame. She didn't get to see me accomplish one of my big dreams pretty soon here, but I love her to death and I played so much for her. To see my grandparents support me, so everything, I don't think they've seen me get to this point, but I know they're still watching.
I haven't seen his dad at all. Where's his dad at? Was he adopted? Let's see, he was raised 2 other siblings, residing in Carolina, most of his life, spending time living with his grandparents. Okay. So he didn't really live with his parents. I don't know what the situation was. Other than Idaho. Okay.
Does anything keep them from coming back?
Round of dual action.
I would. Yeah, that. Why we want to? I guess they wanted to say the best for last. You know, the big rivalries, right? Cowboys, Commanders, Ravens, Steelers. Let me see. What are they supposed to do? NFL rivalry jerseys. That would explain like if you want the big rivalries to. Let's see.
GPMC performs more living donor liver transplants than any other program in the country. My experience was more life-changing.
The communities. Okay, so the rivalries will be. It was AFC East and NFC West in 2025.
Nationwide can be a great insurance and financial service.
Right, first wave of purchasing team is AFC East, NFC West.
What inspired me to create?
And then teams, okay, and then followed by NFC East, AFC West, and then AFC North, NFC South in 2028. Okay. So it means this year we'll get AFC South. We'll get what? Colts. Who are the AFC South? Colts, Titans, Jaguars. NFC North. So Bears, Packers. That'll be a good one. Bears, Packers.
18 months. No, we have IBM. Ariana's using the data right now. We're not doing regular. You gotta stop talking.
That creates small business. IBM. So I have this dream.
Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, and Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. Okay, those are the ones getting jerseys this year. I will say I was a little disappointed by the Bills jerseys. I think that they had last year. It was just it was like kind of icy white. I think it was just white. It didn't really have any details to it. I'm like, if it was supposed to be Blizzard, I'm like, that'd have been dope if they put like little blue like ice crystals on it or something, like to make it look like a Blizzard, like something just to like stand out. And they were just kind of plain white uniforms. Let me see the Bills rivalry jerseys. Like they were kind of plain, like to be honest with you. Like they weren't okay. They had like the little gray stuff on them. Let me see here. Let me share my screen. So yeah, they had like, I guess they looked like this. They had the little stuff up top, but it wasn't really anything. Like it wasn't. I was expecting like little white, like ice crystal stuff, or maybe around like the numbers, like maybe the numbers look frozen or something. Like those would have looked dope, but they didn't really do too much. Those are the jerseys right there. Yeah, they didn't really do much with that. Those were kind of plain. They were lame. They were real lame. They try to get money out of people.
part of the global community of
That would look real lame to get money out of people.
during World Wish Month. Tonight,
Let me take a little break.
you
Be
will
back.
have the opportunity to help
Let's see. What comments? Okay. Dallas trade. What? Dallas trade with the Eagles? What? So who's up now? Oh, they said that you said the Ravens asked by Nike on a scale of 1 to 10 for the changes, and they asked for a 4. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. They didn't change too much. The Titans went ahead and did like a whole 7 or 8. Basically, they changed the whole color scheme for the Titans. It's not even dark blue anymore.
75 pounds 2 and 3. Carolina Panthers about to make the 19th selection of this draft. Roger Goodell now presiding over.
So wait, who's left in the? I missed a couple. Who remains been taken? Makai Lemon is still available, people.
The Carolina Panthers select Monroe Greeley.
Okay, they needed that. Yeah, they needed it.
Monroe Freeling plays for Kirby Smart and Georgia. Carolina getting its offensive lineman to try to help your former quarterback Nick and Bryce Young. They've got to get from Georgia too.
Well, I do think Monroe Freeling is wired the right way. This guy's a good athlete.
All right, so the Cowboys are.
Can pass block. Struggled a little time when he had the smaller guys coming on the edge on him. But he's great. Got great size.
Oh, they trade. Okay, they traded right, Corey. I was reading that like the Cowboys traded back into it. They traded with the Eagles. That would make sense, right? Yeah, Eagles get Makai Lemon. Yeah, if he's still there, they were like, we got to now. Like he said, he's in the 20s. Like this is a steal at this point.
Only one penalty. I mean, that's about as clean as it gets in the offensive line. So he's a player. He's a baller. Also, fans himself one coach too. Really?
Yeah, I'll stay around until let's see. We got. Let's see. How many teams we got left? Draft cast. I'll stay alive. We got the Eagles on the clock, so I'll wait for the Eagles pick. Steelers, I want to see who they pick.
They will make the next selection now. So Philadelphia about to make a choice here. Here comes Commissioner Roger Goodell to the podium.
And the Broncos aren't picking in this round at all, right? Yeah. So yeah, it definitely means AJ Brown is out of here.
In the Eagles receiver room of playing with AJ Brown. The Eagles and Cowboys last time they made a trade in the first round. The Eagles moved up to get Devontae Smith. That worked out.
That Tone Loc.
And now Makai Lemon is going to Philadelphia. Yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, he was my number 2 receiver in this draft. Look at him right there, dressed like a smooth criminal. What I love about this guy, both his parents and his dad said that, growing up, he was a very aggressive kid. He said, we played little league football, he was so aggressive that we really had this.
Right, second worst pick, right. Why trading the division? Well, I'll say for the Cowboys, like, yeah, why? Why would you give one to give the Eagles what they wanted? But again, the Cowboys weren't going to pick Lemon, and I don't think the Steelers were going to pick Lemon either. Yeah, I'm surprised he went all. He fell all the way down to. He fell all the way down to 20. That's kind of surprising. Eagles got their guy. They couldn't ask for better than that. Saying they were going to trade AJ Brown, and the number one receiver in the draft falls to them at 20. I said Carnell Tate was arguably 1A1. It's him and Makai are 1A, 1B, but Makai was listed as the number 1 wide receiver prospect.
Really good at acceleration. He's going to be a world weapon in someone's offense. 3 blocks in 3 years, reliable, yards after the catch.
Why is the walk so long? It's a long walk for no reason.
he plays for a receiver. You can even see his emotion. He plays like with a chip on his shoulder. They get the ball in his hand. He's dangerous. Really getting Lemon early in the first round makes you wonder about AJ Brown. There's been so much talk about Brown and Jalen Hurts. How they're getting along.
I don't know why they even talking. We already know he's getting traded. He's probably getting traded tomorrow at this point. AJ Brown know he out of there. He about to sell his condo or his house, whatever he got. He about to sell it. He out. He know he going.
As we go down to the green now, Melon Brett.
Thank you, Reese. I'm here with Michael and Brandy Lemon, and I see the tears going down both of your faces, Brandy. No apologies for that. How do you describe the joy of this moment?
Overwhelmingly, so blessed. I am so happy for my son. It's a dream for me to watch his dream come true. I couldn't be more grateful for this opportunity. It's truly his dream come true. I'm so blessed to be here.
Congratulations on your son's success.
Thank you so much, Reese.
You don't talk to the dad? I don't like this disrespect. The dad's right there. You ain't gonna talk to his dad? Is he gonna talk to the mom? I don't like this disrespect. You can talk to the dad. You can talk to the dad. I don't like the disrespect. See how we get treated? See how we get treated?
It's about to go down. When they turned that from the Kai Lemon trip, and you're sitting over my shoulder right now, with the Steelers being on the clock, this place might be up for grabs.
Was that Dr. Fred Baker, the wrestler? I think she was there. Yeah, it's a thankless job. It is.
So many great players.
I do.
University of Pittsburgh, all across the country, from the
All we're worried about is making sure the bills are paid and everything runs the way it's supposed to. That's the nice thing that we get. If everything runs smoothly, then we take. Yeah, I'll take it.
The terrible towel, the brainchild of the great voice of the Steelers, Byron Cole.
I don't understand why they took the towel. The Steelers, right? We're gonna terrible towel. It's a towel. You could have used a belt. Anything else. You could have used a belt or anything else. A towel. Terrible towel. Wipe our tears away after not winning a playoff game in the last 10 years.
This is Tommy Shaw from Sticks. Steelers, the pit is in. Oh, mama, I've been here for my life.
Really? Why are we doing this?
Into my run and I'm so far from my home.
This is why this show's like 3 hours long. Jeez.
Pittsburgh Steelers select. The Pittsburgh Steelers select
Joe Green out of the back.
Derek Herman, Joey Porter Jr.,
TJ Watt, Lynn Schwartz.
Yeah, I love that post by Vega. No one's getting my QB. Yeah, that's the kind of attitude you got to have, man. To be honest, my favorite day of the draft is probably not Saturday, but Sunday. It's like Saturday is what day rounds 2 and 3. I think Sunday is rounds 2 and 3, or is it just round 2? Can't remember. I feel like it is round. I think it is just round 2 on tomorrow, and then rounds 3 or whatever is on Saturday.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are committed to growing the game of football and celebrating athletes at every level. Joining me on stage are 6 Jerome Bettis Leadership Award recipients, featuring both high school tackle players and flag football athletes. Jerome?
The Jerome Bettis Leadership Award recognizes high school football players who demonstrate leadership, character, and service, both on and off the field. Congratulations to each of you. We wish all of you the best as you continue your football journeys. The last time I introduced the Steelers first round pick, I was fortunate to introduce TJ Watt. And with the 21st pick,
let's see who they pick. Who did the Steelers pick?
Max Ihanature, tackle, Arizona State.
Well, they need a tackle. We do need a tackle. So solid pick.
The Steelers built on toughness and grit, and the celebration of Maxi Honachor.
All right. Oh, dude need to pull his pants up, man. He had his ass all in the camera. Pull your pants up, man.
Just not too long ago, had no aspirations, no thought of playing college football when he came to the United States from Nigeria.
My name is Max Ihanature. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I did not know anything about American football growing up. I played basketball in high school for 4 years. I started my football career in college. I mean, it was a lot of rough days.
So he's real raw too. He didn't start playing football. He started playing football. Butt out jeans from a living color. Butt out jeans. I forgot about butt out jeans. So yeah, he's another. He's like, so this first football wasn't even played until he got to college and he got drafted in the first round. So he's a real raw, still talent. Still got a lot to learn.
Maxi Honachor is a Pittsburgh Steelers. His AAU coach in basketball suggested that he give football a try. Could play college basketball perhaps, but boy, what a wise decision it turned out to be.
There's no doubt about that. He told me he played soccer, he played basketball, with his coach recommended football. He said he watched a lot of film, didn't know the sport. He was at the junior college level. He said guys played it just the love of it. But then when he got to Arizona State, he was able to turn it on. He pursued up the game. He said he has thick skin and he's doing it for his family. Like you said, his mom and dad, they moved him from Nigeria up to their family. He said, when your parents make a sacrifice like that for you and your siblings, you can't let them down. And coach, this is another offensive lineman who said he can cook too. He makes great
Yeah, so he's right. Look at right tackle. Again, he's very raw talent. He only played college football. First time he's played football is in college. So this is a natural athlete. Oh, this is the Pittsburgh special.
How you see it, how your feet react to it. And I think coaches are going to have patience with this guy in his development, and he can be a really, really good pro.
Did you guys say Max Cook? Oh, yeah. What he's going to have to learn to enjoy is the famed Primanti Brothers sandwich. This is a staple in Pittsburgh. They put the fries right on the sandwich here. Okay. Don't be shy. How do you eat it?
That thing is huge. Yeah, but how do you eat that? There's one thing I think I will say in my old age that I do not like is these whenever these cities have these food specialties that are like insane sandwiches that nobody should eat. I hate those. They just make sandwiches that are almost impossible to eat. Like, I'm not gonna want to eat that. I don't. It's like it's a novelty, yeah, but I hate it when, and every city has one. Like, I'm just like, I hate those things. Like, if I want a sandwich, I want to be able to enjoy the sandwich. I don't want a monstrosity like that. I hate it when they do this crap. These sandwiches that are like this tall with like, all right, we got like 2 pounds of meat, we got 5 slices of cheese, we got a whole half an onion on here. Like, I don't want all that. The Dagwood was good. the thing about the Dagwood is the Dagwood will be at UMES. We would get the whole sub, but I would only eat half one day and then half the next day. I never ate the whole sub because the thing was just massive. So I was like, but that sub was like very proportioned to, like, it had meat, it had the lettuce, it had the onions, it had the oil. Like, that was really good. But I'm talking about these tall sandwiches, the tall ones where it's like I can't eat it. I can't. I literally have to separate this out. I'm gonna need more bread to make more sandwiches out of this sandwich because I can't eat the sandwich the way it is. Like, I'm gonna need to separate some meat out of this sandwich to make a whole nother sandwich and eat it. So yeah, the one thing that I've always hated, even when I was younger, was those novelty sandwiches that a lot of cities have that are just monstrosities. Every city has them, and I can't stand it. I hate it. Okay, Chargers pick the other defensive end out of Miami, Akeem Mesidor. So he's going to be on the other side. Well, now that Owe is gone, it makes a lot of sense. They need somebody there on that side. Yeah, the 1 pound burger. Yeah, I'm not eating a 1 pound. Even half a pound is too much. Like, a quarter pound is the most burger you should be eating in one sitting. A quarter pound. Yeah. A quarter pound of a burger is the most you should be eating at one sitting. Period. It's the most you should be eating at one sitting. A quarter pound is the most you eat. I've strictly now gotten to the point now where I'm just strictly eating like smash burgers now. I just do smash burgers because you can actually do like stack two of those together, and it's literally like it's not even a quarter. It's less than that. Like both of them together. It's like they're real small, but they got the nice crispy edges when you put them on the griddle, the cast iron and stuff. Delicious. So yeah, the Cowboys are picking now at 23. Let's see. I don't really. Man, who's left? The Chiefs are left back at 29. I don't really care what the Patriots are going to pick. So I'll wait till the Bills. Let's see what the Bills are picking, and then I'll go ahead and just turn this off. They were saying there was going to be a lot of trades, but it hasn't been a lot of trades. There's been a couple. So the Eagles traded with the Cowboys, and then the Chiefs traded up with the Browns. But they were saying like, we expect a whole bunch of trades happening in this draft. This draft has kind of been as expected. Outside of the Rams picking Ty Simpson early, that's the only, I think, really surprise we've seen so far in this draft. It's pretty much following the way we expect. Now, when we get to round 2, maybe things will change. But as of right now, it's pretty much the same. It hasn't changed too much. Sean, I want to ask you, if you're still watching, how do you feel about the Broncos not having the first round pick in this draft? Like, does it kind of you would be picking late anyway? So it's like, does it at this point do you not like having that first round pick, or is it kind of it is what it is?
Round of dual action.
Does that seem to be this week's 1 to 4 months?
Well, it keeps working.
Does this work for 4 months? Just gotta go to the store now. There you go. Kill and prevent weeds for up to 4 months. This stuff works. Weight loss starts with a game plan.
Oh yeah, and how's the last guy you guys took? The guy you guys took last year, Jody Barron? Was he good last year? Was Jody Barron good last year? All right, that was a Jalen Waddle trade. Okay, so the cornerback you guys drafted last year, has he been good?
Tell your provider that surgery or procedure are first.
Oh yeah, that hot dog at the Texas, the Rangers. They showed 2 guys eating that thing from each end, which was wild. That was a wild picture. 2 guys eating a hot dog from each end. That was wild. But again, that's another thing. I'm like, I'm not eating this. I'm not eating this. I'm not eating this monstrosity. No, even if I have people with me, I'm not eating this. Was he hurt? Was Jody Brown hurt last year? Jody Barron. I mean, he's a first round draft pick. He had to have some talent, right? Let me see.
NFL Draft on ABC is presented by Heinz. It has to be Heinz.
Wow, this is so rich.
Laying behind Pat Surtain, Daquan McMillan in the quiet season, mostly rotational depth role. He played mostly nickel, played dime, and a little corner. Okay, so he was mostly but I'm not drafting a guy in the first round just to be a rotational piece like that. That's wild. Like I'm not drafting a guy like that in the first round to be a rotational piece. He needs to be playing every day, starting if he's a first round draft pick. Let's see the Cowboys pick here. They already got Caleb down.
The Dallas Cowboys select Malachi Lawrence, defensive end, University.
No, that's a reach. He was not listed. Malachi Lawrence. Let me see here. I don't think he was. Was he listed? Jerry McCoy. That was a reach.
I hate to use that word, but actually, this guy was one of my sleepers.
Malachi Lawrence.
He has first step quickness. He can run. He's long. He's got a lot of sacks. He puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Probably has to learn how to play the run a little bit better. But this guy is a good player.
So they basically got another. Was Malachi Lawrence listed? I don't think that's a reach, wasn't he? Yeah, he's a reach for the first. Yeah, maybe they felt like he wasn't going to be there tomorrow, so they just like let's go ahead and try to trade for him now. But with we think about the people that were listed that were left on the board. Maybe on Terrell, a cornerback. Peter Woods, I think, would have been a good solid pickup for them. But at this point in the draft, I'm looking at the rest of the guys that are left. A lot of these guys are day 2 picks. Keldrick Falk is a cusp, like he's right there on the edge. He was okay at Auburn, but he's not really explosive. Yeah, he doesn't provide that explosivity that you need. He's physical, but he's not that explosive. And he's the only one I think that I thought that was left that maybe would go in the first round, and Peter Woods too. But outside of the rest of the guys that are listed here, let me show my screen real quick. That are listed here, most of these guys are day 2 picks. So this could be a situation where teams start trading out of the first round just because a lot of these guys I've been looking at I've done my mock drafts. A lot of these guys were day 2 picks. Keldrick Falk, I think I saw him go in the first round, and Peter Woods, I saw him go in the first round. But most of these guys, like Cassius Howell was a day 2 pick. Concepcion was also a day 2 pick. Stowers, I think, was more of a day 3 pick. It kind of surprised Stowers was listed this high. Kind of thought Delp would be a little bit higher than him. But yeah, most of these guys are. I do like, if I'm the Ravens, I like Jacob Rodriguez. I did watch him play at Texas Tech. He was really good. I would like him to play next to Roquan Smith. I think he'd be a real good pickup for the Ravens if they give it linebacker. But as of tomorrow, Zechariah Branch is still available. He's 5'9", though. But like Corey said, his guy Chris Brazzell, it will be available. Looks like tomorrow. Jeremy Bernard, I'm not sure. There's a few guys wide receiver wise that are pretty short in this draft. Kid Concepcion. I don't think he's gonna last that long. The Ravens aren't gonna be. He's not gonna be around for the Ravens to grab him. But I anticipate now that the Ravens have their guard, they'll probably go wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they go wide receiver or corner for their next pick in the draft. I wouldn't not be surprised. Just because again they still got to deal with DK Metcalf and those guys and stuff like that. So I just think that I think that doing that's going to make sense. But a lot of people thought those teams are going higher on KC. Yeah, Concepcion, yeah. Who is Ted Hurst? Ted Hurst played with is it Georgia State? Is that Ted Hurst? Did he play with Georgia State? Yeah, Georgia State. Ted Hurst. I don't really know too much about him. Let's see what his.
By Bud Light. Three selections have been made tonight in Pittsburgh. Draft expert Field Yates. Keeping the ball to pitch, and Field Yates best available. It's brought to you by
Ted Hurst out of Georgia State, 6'3". Got a great athleticism score. Runs a 4.42. Was at Valdosta State, and then played with the Georgia State. So quick to shake press with his stutter, go release, above average acceleration for a long leg wide out. Again, he's a 6'3", almost 6, basically 6'4", 6'3" and 7/8 with cleats on. He's 6'4". Struggles to break in, bring in tough catches despite his wingspan, consistent stacking cornerbacks on deep routes. Doesn't close the size on catch points nearly enough. He's gonna need some work. He wouldn't be a guy that I would put out there definitely for like straight out the gate, just because it sounds like he needs to learn how to utilize his body frame in order to catch passes on people. Yeah, Mike Green got 15 now. He took Cooper Rush, I think, had the number, and now he's got 15, which I think is what he had in college. So yeah, I'll stay on until the Buffalo pick, and then I'll go ahead and sign up and see what's going on here. Three Rivers.
Offensive tackle out of Utah with the 9th overall pick who made their second selection tonight. 24th overall. And Pittsburgh made the selection. That some starting to celebrate.
In the 2026 NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns select Casey Concepcion.
Oh, they got Casey Concepcion. Okay. That's a good pickup. That was a good pickup for them.
Casey Concepcion was All-American.
You're gonna play with Shador. That was a good pickup. That was a good pickup. They need a wide receiver.
In the transfer portal. Big time weapon for Casey Concepcion. He was born in Rochester, New York, moved to Charlotte as a young man, went to A&M after a couple of seasons at North Carolina State, and has overcome some challenges in his life.
That's a good pickup for Cleveland. I will say that.
Whenever I first figured out, that I had a stutter, I wasn't really confident. I usually get, picked on a lot, as a kid. My mom always been there, always, instill confidence in myself. Telling me, to slow down sometimes, breathe. I still stutter, but it's not as bad. I can, talk about the camera, obviously, I can, talk about teammates. I can, lead up.
Touchdown, Casey Concepcion.
My message to young kids who have a stutter, you're not alone. I stand with you. Do not lose confidence. I am going to forever continue to fight for us.
The celebration continues for Casey Concepcion. What an inspirational moment and message we have to be joined with Mike Evans as the only two Aggie receivers to be taken in the first round in the Comet Draft era, and he's going to Cleveland.
Yeah, started at NC State.
Yeah, that was a good pickup for them. That was a solid pickup.
Before they should started, I hope they him to be the offensive rookie of the year. I think we all see what he's capable of doing because of what he did when he got down to Kyle Field. Just an incredible guy, 4.46 speed. What I love is you can use him on gadget play, jet sweeps.
But that's gonna be. I know, right? I was saying the same thing. I saw the picture. I was like, oh, okay.
And he's got really good run after the catch, and you just saw him right from the pumpkin bar. He's the speed demon.
It really is, bro. A weapon. Given the quarterback situation, you guys want to revisit that offensive rookie of the year prediction?
For the Bears. Who do the Bears pick? That's a good question. Who do the Bears? What are their needs? Because it's hard being a playoff team. When you're a playoff team, it's like we were clearly good. I think those are the toughest teams to draft for because it's like, what do we really need to get over the hump to get us to that next level? So they said safety, defensive tackle. I guess the Peter Woods, is still left. Edge. Yeah, they ain't gonna find that in the first round. Wide receiver is not the last, but unless they take Peter Woods with the tail, like I don't know, or the Katie McDonald is still there.
Oh, and the answer is
yeah, and Dylan Thiemann.
They're ready to be warm.
He's another safety they could pick.
The best way to wear them is to just keep wearing them.
It is natural hands, so he can actually catch the ball. He can get lost in coverage in short areas. He's physical, but not a thumper in the run support, despite missing occasional tackles. So, okay, he's strictly like a pass, the free safety, pretty much. Not downhill safety for the Bears. And the other safety they have listed, Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, is a box safety. So literally they have their pick. So they either get Dylan Thiemann out of Oregon, who's more of a free safety type, ball hawk, or they go to Emmanuel McNeil Warren safety. I don't think – didn't have any of these two guys listed in any mock drafts that I was doing the last couple of weeks, so I don't even know if they pick there. It could be the Bears end up picking maybe Peter Woods or Caden McDonald in the defensive tackle position. They still got a couple guys at edge rushers, but I feel like I wouldn't take them this high. I feel like that's a reach.
Like the superwoman you are. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, visit AskForFirstOnes.com.
Yeah, they did right. They traded away DJ Moore. I forget about that. Yeah, that's true. Who's trading into the Bears pick? Since it's lagging on my end. Who's trading into the Bears pick? Please send me the Ravens. Trading back in. Even though there's nobody on the board, the Ravens would pick down at this point. Not in the first round. The Ravens wouldn't trade back in. Houston trading with the Bills. Oh, the Bills are trading. Oh, the Houston traded to the Bills spot. The Bills traded out. That makes sense. Again, I think this is the part of the draft once you start getting to past the 25s where teams start trying to trade out of the first round, because there's some they could pick in the first round, but because of how the contracts work out on the first round, where certain guys are guaranteed certain kind of money, they're like, we can probably still get that guy tomorrow, and not have to pay him first round money, or be locked into like a five year option kind of deal.
Release show happening in a few weeks. We will take through each team's schedule, break down the biggest matchups, an annual 2-hour special, and we'll reveal the Monday Night Football schedule that is coming on our platforms in the month of May. Bears had a tremendous season a year ago, trying to build on it. Now the 25th pick tonight. Here comes the commissioner to the podium.
All right, we'll see the Bears.
With the 25th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Dylan Thiemann, defensive back.
Dylan Thiemann started his career at Purdue. He's from a Purdue family, but went to Oregon and became the sixth draft pick in a very short period of time under Dan Lanning. And Dylan Thiemann is celebrating the fact that he is going back to the Midwest, going to the monsters of the Midwest, Chicago Bears. And then they're getting a guy who just wants to win a big play for sure. Yeah, guys earlier.
All right, so we'll see what the Buffalo Bills pick, and then I'll go ahead and sign. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for staying on, for watching.
Started as a freshman for Purdue, his safety coach.
That long ass walk.
Because of how he approaches the simple task. His two older brothers, Jake and Brennan.
Yeah, I feel like with the guys that are left on the board, a lot of teams aren't trying to pick any of these guys in the first round. Like the teams that are left, I don't think any of these guys are trying to trade these guys, pick these guys in the first round and get the first round money.
About the young brother kind of trying to stay up with his older brother playing backyard football. He kind of reminds me of a guy that plays that way. Ridiculous athlete. 4.35, 40, 41-inch vertical at the combine. Gives you an idea what he can do. And I really think that last year, being able to play in Oregon, kind of go into a different type of system with Dan Lanning, ask him to do a lot more, and I think it'll pay off for him when he goes to Chicago because he can play nickel, he can play safety, they blitz him, they play him all over the field.
Dan Lennon says this is the best safety ever. He's been around some good ones at our place in Georgia. Playing in the umbrella defense where it's half safety and the half linebacker. The guy made 1,000 tackles. He's tough. He's physical. But he has the athletic
All
skills.
right, Bills on the clock. Let's see what the Bills do.
He's just an all around really
Let's see what the Bills do. The Bills, when they got traded for DJ Moore, so I'm not sure what the Bills do right now. Maybe defensive line help.
We're sort of middle of the road, maybe lower middle of the road. Defensive.
Buffalo, they need wide receiver, edge, linebacker, guard, cornerback. Now they wide receivers left here. First round. Edge, kind of still there. Linebacker, not really. Not for what they're trying to get. Maybe they go Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. Maybe they go with him. Again, I doubt it. He's not explosive enough. They tried that route obviously with Joey Bosa. He has not worked out in Buffalo since he's been there, and Keldrick Falk is basically a younger version of that. To be honest, he's just not as explosive. He'll be good on the edge and stuff. Like he'll be good as an edge, like to stop the run and things like that. But in the league today, you need guys that can get to the quarterback, and he's not going to have a lot of sacks. Keldrick Falk. So I'm like, maybe they go with him, but I'm not sure. With what's left, they're not first round worth. I'm like I said, I'm waiting till tomorrow. If I were them, I would have traded back.
we were just excited for him, He's at his
So they did trade. Texans traded with the Bills, right? So, right, Corey, you did say that. So Houston traded up. They didn't need O-line, yeah. Dolphins need the fan frame. Okay. Well, since looks like the Bills looks like they traded out of the first round, so I'm probably getting ready to end this thing.
You must all be so proud. Congratulations. Reese.
This guy is a tone.
I don't really care about the rest of these teams. I don't care what the Texans do. Yeah, the Chiefs don't have. I was worried about seeing what the Bills were doing, but that's it. Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks, guys, for watching. Me and the guys will probably do a schedule release for the Ravens when that comes out later in May. So thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see what happens tomorrow and Saturday over the weekend and see, and then we'll probably do a full draft show. Me and the guys will do a full draft recap and see how this kind of shakes out for the rest of the year. How this shakes out for what the coming year, mini camp, training camp, and all that stuff like that. So thanks again for watching. Catch you guys on the flippity flip. I'll see you guys later. Peace.